your boyfriend was him. I really did. I don't know why. 'Cause I heard you were sick, right? So I said to him, I'm like, I feel better. He's like, what? I'm like, okay, I'm stupid.
A little bit.
But are you feeling better?
Yeah.
Good.
It is. I'm good side. Coming out.
I got sick a few weeks ago, so.
Tanner's about. How was Tanner this morning?
I didn't see him, he was at work and it was 5 a.m.
She's still sick?
Tanner started to get sick yesterday.
Again? Because I know he like, last week or something, he said he wasn't feeling good.
But I had a study was following.
All right. In the news feed, I put this craft here. I tried to print it, I had problems printing it, so I will try again. But this is fantastic. It goes through very popular beer guides. So I'm going to focus on this stuff here.
Okay.
I'm going to change some of the terminology to make it easier for everybody to remember. But this is what we're talking about. We can talk about the brewing process. I was going to save that for later because we're not a brewery. It's important in a brewery to talk about the brewing process, but we are salesmen. They've already brewed it for us. We just need to know what they've provided to us, and that's it. There's a lot about glassware. There's going to be a lot about temperature. The way we are set up, it's difficult to do a ton of glassware and a ton of different temperatures. For right now, we're going to do 16-ounce pints. That's going to be poured from the tap or from a can. We also have 12-ounce cans that we can figure out a method for, but really the 12-ounce cans that I buy are fine right now.
So we're not changing anything about that.
I am going to think about frosty mugs or frosty pint glasses. I still have to think about it. I think for Mick Ultra, it's awesome, but it's going to take away what I think is important about Yankee. Yankee's probably not going anywhere on that cap list. We've sold a ton of it. It is a beautiful, wonderful local beer made in a small brewery that I am a huge fan of.
So like I've had people ask me, are we trying to revolve those, or or is that the only one you want to keep? The Michelob's been selling a lot.
Yeah, I've already restocked that. Michelob's gonna stay.
Up here, right?
On draft.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna start rotating a little bit, but I'm gonna keep on brand. So if White Oak wants to bring me something different, I'll put a different White Oak on. I bought, what did I get? So Space Crystals, when that's done, I got a Kolsch, and we can go over all those crystals. So we'll rotate it a little bit, but this guide is awesome. It has colors, it has like everything that you would possibly need. Like I said, I tried to print it. I might take it to the coffee shop and just make 15 really good copies of this. And then this thing is also awesome. So this is this with much more. It has good color pictures here. They don't show up too well just by computer printer standards, but you can see all of that stuff. So, I want you to use this guide, use that front of house thing, and then I want to show you one more cool thing. This link here that I said is so rad. So this has all pretty popular beer styles on there. And you can look and you can see the pictures, color, all of that, and then you can click on it, and then it'll bring up this study guide page. So this will get you from the short study guide to the big study guide pretty quickly. We'll talk about all of this. But it'll tell you food pairings. Commercial examples are very nice because these are the easiest ones to find in those beer styles. We won't talk too much about exact hops, things like that at this point. I'll mention it a little bit. So those are the materials I want you guys to study. Like I said, I will try and print out that one. I want everybody to walk over there and tell me why I put those beers in that order.
Tell you why you put what?
Why did I put those in that order? Don't worry about the analytical. She just dropped those off while I was working on this.
Is it lightest to darkest?
Kind of.
That's what I would guess. Lightest to heaviest, maybe? That's true. Good looks. So this one's heavier than, or lighter than the Charlie?
I don't know what color, but
So this
as far
is-
as like when you drink it is lighter.
This is color. So this is color lightest to darkest. The most important thing to me in beer presentation is color. So you can pour a beer, and I can almost tell by what color it is, what style it is. So I brought out some of the most popular styles. There's a periodic table that's made that goes from light to dark in beer. This is pretty much it. So a Saison would be the lightest style ale. A Ghost will be a sour, so that's in the light range. American Cream Ale is a little bit yellower. Lager is yellow, yellow, yellow. Blonde is a little bit darker. Then you have red, and then you have brown. So those are all ales, and they are named by their color. Hefeweizen is a wheat beer, and then you have pale ales. So pale ales are in between blonde, red, brown. They can actually go all over the place based on color. And then brown and porter is going to be a thin brown color, and then a stout is going to be dark, chocolatey texture. So when you're talking about beer, a very good way to sell beer is that it looks awesome. So if you have a color, you can kind of figure out what kind of beer they like. So if somebody wants a yellowy beer, they can either pick a macro lager, which is boring, or they can get into a small batch lager. I think a blonde is fantastic. If they like Guinness or a dark beer or an Amberbach, they're looking at porter, stout, right? So that's the first C is color. So what's your favorite color beer? Just give me
Yellow, the light one.
yellow, so Miller Lite. Miller Lite's a fantastic beer. They've sold billions and billions and billions and billions and billions and billions of bottles of Miller Lite in a lifetime. Many American craft brewers are getting into the light American lager style method. What is going to be different with a small batch brewer is going to be,
It's a little weedy.
yeah, so the taste is going to be different. So when you're drinking a macro lager, what's missing from that beer? When you drink that beer, what's missing?
Any sort of flavor, really.
Not necessarily while you're drinking it, but you're getting no aftertaste in that beer. I'm going to talk about consistency as my other C. Consistency I'm going to use as mouthfeel. Okay, so when I'm talking about consistency, I'm talking about mouthfeel. I'll explain my C's and read that later. So a American craft lager, which is similar to a Miller Lite, is going to have a different mouthfeel and consistency than a Miller Lite, right? So you're going to get a little of the lager aftertaste that's going to stick around instead of vanishing. What's different in that is quality of water, quality of products, small batch brewing, people that care, make a lot of that stuff. It's not done by machine. Deanna, what's your favorite color?
Probably a blonde.
Blonde? Okay. Blonde's a good choice. Obviously, our friends down the street make the best
Right.
blonde in town.
I have a question. So like, you say the quality of the water. So like, do you know what like White Oak's doing right now? Because the water Or do they get their own kind of water?
They have their
And their own
they have all kinds of
process.
filtration systems.
Okay.
It has not changed Bloomington Normal Brewing yet.
Okay.
Most of that beer was done a while
I was
ago.
just
White Oak's
curious.
probably on normal water.
Okay.
The only one that would affect would be Little Beaver. I can probably ask him, but I would guess that they've got their filtration system. You have to have good filtered water to make good beer. I think if you were making beer with Bloomington Swamp Water right now, like there's probably a home brewer that's done it. It's probably going to be yeah. Blonde. So blonde is going to be a little bit darker on the scale. Have a little bit more aftertaste. It's going to stick around a little bit. It's going to have a slightly higher ABV. A blonde is an ale rather than a lager.
Right.
That is a difference in yeast and fermentation. Savannah.
Pink.
The pink one. Okay, the pink one's a ghost. A ghost is very, very, very light. It's brewed to be almost clear. And a ghost holds flavor very well, right? So a lot of ghosts will be on the sour end.
Are you saying ghost like Casper the Ghost?
Kind of. It's G-O-S-E.
So goose.
Ghost. It's a, yeah, goose, ghost. So that'll be on the,
Pig mines?
that's the pig mines, the sour end,
Does that have real fruit in it?
they will put.
Yeah.
I like this.
We're supposed to roll
Oh,
this,
this
right?
is strawberry.
They're really good.
I didn't know.
That is stuck around for a while, that ghost has not done very well. Typically, beer on that far of the light side is for very specific.
I've never had anyone order that.
Is the pop culture a
Have
ghost?
you?
The pop culture is an ale
I've not.
with orange.
I've been standing in front of your camera for like 10 minutes.
I'm more worried about audio here.
That's funny.
Because I will start doing podcasts or something. Good. So if you want sour, you want that lighter end. Most sours are made on the way. Anna, have you been experimenting yet?
No, I don't like beer.
Have you tried those shooters I got?
Huh?
Have you tried the shooters we got you?
No, I'm still working through that big ass bag.
So you don't like beer?
No.
I say you're a liar.
I also made me try vegetables on tap last night.
So you're just not determined enough. You will find one that you like. There's so much in the world of beer that we'll find you. Rob also doesn't like beer, is what I heard.
I can't stand it, but I just haven't found the right one, I guess.
That surprises me.
So. Beer tastes like
I'm surprised.
the
Wow.
current water, tap water.
Just
to
whiskey?
me. Like, it tastes like that. But I haven't given it a chance.
Wow.
What's your favorite color?
Color?
Yeah.
Blue or pink?
Beer wise.
Where's the, if there's blue beer, I might like it.
I mean, there's probably
There is! I had one in Wisconsin.
somebody probably made a blueberry.
It was,
That sounds good.
where were we?
Lakefront.
No, not Lakefront.
See, that sounds like
Eagle
my
Park.
work.
We were at Eagle Park. It was one of the coolers.
Oh, I just ordered those. Those are all so
Yeah.
So that's
Good.
those are hard seltzers.
The only beer this time.
We consider that in our fun stuff in the beer program, so we can talk about hard seltzers at some point. Hard seltzers is very, very popular right now because so many high noons get sold. High noons get sold everywhere. Everybody's buying vodka seltzers.
It's getting a lot carbless lately.
Yeah.
Carbless
Yeah.
is basically the same beverage.
Like going quick.
Sweeter.
Really
Lots
quick.
later.
It is very easy to brew a malt beverage like that at Keg Grove. Keg Grove can do it. So they started
Keg Grove
making
is a
them.
good one.
They're doing THC ones right now. They're not doing.
The apple cinnamon one is my favorite.
Are we working to get a license for that?
I don't want to go there.
No?
I have concerns with that mainly because I think beer is fantastic and it should be a good enough chemical for anyone. So when it comes to color, does anybody have any questions? There is a range of color from almost clear to dark as night black that does not indicate flavor. You can have a dark as night black IPA.
Wait, Clark said you didn't ask him.
I didn't?
I mean, probably my favorite is the blonde,
Okay.
but I do like some reds. I do like some porters and stouts.
Okay, so this is as related as you can get. So
Because
blonde,
that's like a light beer.
red, brown.
Yes.
So those are all ales. They're all made the same way. The difference here is the malt. So they roast them differently, or they use a different species of malt to get from blonde to red to brown. So these are essentially the same beer. The darker you get here, the more malty flavor you're going to have, less hop flavor. These are all fantastic.
Would that mean it'll sit a little heavier in your stomach too, though? Does that not matter?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm ruining my stomach with so much beer. An ale should be the same
Okay.
on your stomach because they're all going to be similar caloric
And a
intake.
stout will be a little heavier then?
So a stout's going to be heavy,
Like
dark,
right?
chocolatey.
Pretty
Those
heavy.
are the maltiest of all. All right. Carlos, what's your favorite color? Yeah, darker. Darker. So a porter stout, we talked about that. Does anybody have any questions on color?
No.
Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk about weekends then. That was my demonstration.
Nick, you should think about getting that, it's like that Snickers flavored stout thing that was supposed to be, is like Snickers / whiskey flavored.
So
Do you know what I'm talking about?
So it's very popular to barrel age beer now. Barrel aged beer is a beer that they age in a barrel for a short time. I just got one from Little Beaver. I think. It's Little Beaver. So when you barrel age a stout, you pick up some of that wood and bourbon flavor in there. It adds to the alcohol content, but brewers really love to play with the barrel aging, so they will add flavors like chocolate, peanut butter, coconut, lactose. That's milk. You see a milk stout that has lactose sugar in it.
Are stouts mainly the only ones that get barrel aged?
No, they barrel aged everything. There's a lot of barrel aging in the sour world, which is very strange. I tend to stay away with it. It would be easy to barrel age a porter. You could do an ale. If you're doing a thinner, lighter beer barrel aged, it's going to pick up a lot more flavor. It's going to be more pronounced. The darker ones, it's an enhancement and not the actual flavor. Okay. So color is important. What else is important? Taste.
You think?
When are we trying to sell England?
It's here.
What is in the system?
Yeah.
Well, someone just asked me on Saturday.
Can you tell us a little about that since it's so popular? Why it's so popular?
Okay, so Yingling, yes. So, do you just want me to go through the beer list and tell you about every single beer? Is that
Well, just balance the
I wouldn't mind it.
Crazy.
Well, I can tell you why. It's because everybody had to travel to Wisconsin for it, and now that's in Illinois.
I thought it was
But what's
Pennsylvania.
the flavor? I mean, what-
Wisconsin, Pennsylvania.
Is it?
Yingling is the oldest brewery in America. They've been making beer since like 1857.
Wow.
That's cool.
It is typically delivered in a green bottle. So it's, I guess they call it an amber lager. It's very thin flavor, it's very sweet. It has a wonderful aftertaste. The reason it's popular is because it's just got
I had a lady the other night on Monday night with that party at Mass,
Just-
we didn't have it.
It just got it's
I know.
It's been in Illinois for 9
Yeah, she
days.
was really mad.
She sounds like an awful person.
Yeah, she was not.
Anybody that has traveled anywhere east of Illinois has had a Yingling. It's
Right.
the oldest beer. It's
But what's the flavor? Like,
it's thin, sweet, light, good aftertaste.
okay.
it's fine. It is every quality of a macro beer. So it's not an American craft beer. It's the oldest brewery in.
Okay.
But they make a lot of beer. They sell a lot of beer. If you go to Florida, that's the only thing they're drinking.
All down there, yeah.
I have got it in Wisconsin, or not Wisconsin, Indiana every year. When I go to Indiana, I drink one case of it, and then I'm done with England the rest of the year. It's fine, it's good. I did not want it to replace a craft brewery, especially one close to us where we can have a relationship with.
Yeah.
It's good.
Is that why we carry Oberon instead of Blue Moon? I guess a lot of people ask.
I don't want, so if you go to Jewel, and you go to the beer section at Jewel, what's in the beer section?
They have like rainbows.
They have one little section. But what I'm saying is they have Wine and Cobalt, they have Sam Adams, they have Blue Moon, Lagunitas IPA. So those are all made by Budweiser or Miller Coors. Miller Coors bought all those breweries. They get distributed all over the place. Bell's is very widely distributed, but they are in Michigan. They're close. Oberon's a better beer than Blue Moon. Anybody can argue with me that.
Are they both weeded?
Yeah. So Blue Moon is a Belgian white with coriander. Oberon is a wheat beer. What do they call it?
It's like a wheat ale.
Yeah, I think they call it a wheat ale. It's a very similar style. Oberon's better.
Just what we've been coached to offer if they ask for Blue Moon.
I've never had a complaint.
No, I haven't
I
either.
had one person be like, "This does not taste like Blue Moon."
Blindfold them and put a Blue Moon in front of them and
We do not carry those natural wines, with one exception of Summer Shandy. I think I just bought something other than Summer Shandy. There's macro beers, like I can probably get talking to Summer Shandy because I'm in 92 and sells well.
So what's your thought on either rather than Summer Shandy doing like 312 Shandy?
So Goose Island is one of those that has been bought up by Coors.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So yeah, so
Otherwise, Vito's.
I wonder if that's why Goose Island got taken away from Sean.
got that.
I wonder if that's why they took Goose Island away.
The brewery's not still there by the water.
I'm talking about the legitimate, like the section in the ballpark. In White Sox, because that playing field used to be
Oh
Goose Island.
yeah, it's something
But it's no
else
longer
now.
Goose Island.
It's
Probably
Blue
just
Moon.
White Sox about 25 years.
Well, yeah, the tickets are $2.
All right. So color. I lost my train of thought. Distracting.
I have lots of questions, Nick. Sorry. Are we doing a seltzer bucket deal this year?
No.
No.
No buckets.
No bucket at all?
Well, they could buy 6 beers and get rid of a bucket.
Or 5.
All right, I'm back on track. So I'm going to talk about clarity. So I was thinking about a diamond. So when you buy a diamond, they tell you its color, clarity, and purity. Clarity is important in beer, but several different clarities are important in beer. Okay? So the best beer is not always going to be the most clear. The worst beer is not always going to be the most cloudy. So there's different ingredients in beer that causes different. This is the same in presentation. When you pour a beer, you see it clear, you see cloudy. Typically a more clear beer is going to be on the yellow side, and then darker beers are going to have more sediment. There's nothing wrong with sediment in beer. It is intended You can filter out some of that, like some wheat beers will filter out some of that sediment, but it's not the most important thing. There's enjoyable processes with that sediment. You will see that a lot of the very, very good high-end double, triple IPAs will be very heavy in sediment. If you ever see somebody grab a can and roll it, that's what they're doing, they're rolling sediment. Which just helps it mix in with beer. We pour so little in glasses.
Like sours, I always tell people they should roll, you know,
Like the obscurities, right?
especially the strawberry, the orange not so much, but the grape, like those ones are pretty clear. But
Right.
the strawberry, for whatever reason, came and it was just full.
See, and I poured, well, I watched this person pour a strawberry one, and it was like all of it was at the top. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Like the
I had no idea.
The ghost, I tell people to roll just because it's a sour. Just any sort of sour that comes through, roll it. Because as soon as you pour that out, all that fruit's gonna go straight to the top. And it's gonna make the foam look real gunky and like it's spoiled, which is not. But no, I don't have anybody roll like a wheat or a stout or a grape like that.
And then the other one was consistency. So when I want to talk about consistency, I want to talk about mouthfeel. I want to talk about how consistent is it through the drinking process. Again, there are very many beers that have a wonderful aftertaste to them. They taste beery. They stick with you. They make you want to drink more beer. If you ever go to Artesian Brewery, their beer all has zero aftertaste. When they brew their beer, they are on an ancient glacier well, so their water is like ancient water. It's old water. It's awesome. And their brewing process, it's almost like flavor is here, gone. So that's a wonderful drinking experience, the same way as coating your mouth and keeping it around would be. So when it comes to selling, I have some tips. So what does somebody ask you? What question does somebody ask you?
Most common one is normally, do you have a beer menu? Because we don't get them for some reason. But another common one is, what's your lightest beer? Is what I get a lot.
Or do you have any sours? Or
You know, do you have any?
something similar to Blue Moon? That question's asked a lot.
I think I get a lot of IPAs.
Yeah,
What's a
what kind
good
of-
IPA?
IPA is now a brand upon itself. Traditionally, an IPA was an Indian Pale Ale. They were brewed because pirates or something, merchants, not pirates, merchants were taking ships from India to Great Britain. And by the time they got to Great Britain, their beer was spoiled. So they added a bunch of hops to them, made them very bitter and sour. So by the time they got back and forth from India, their beer was fine.
That's cool.
Now, IPA is any beer with a prominent hop flavor. Every brewer uses different hops species. When you see on a hop butcher, it says it's brewed with Simcoe or Montezuma or whatever. That's the hop species they're using. Many times, breweries that small will rotate hop species because that's what's available. Lagunitas, who I mentioned before, makes a ton of IPA. They're in grocery stores all over the United States. They use the same hop species in their beer. A little something, something, it's the same beer. Very consistent. So if they have to buy all the hops, that leaves smaller brewers to buy different hop species. So that's all you're seeing. It does change flavor a little bit. It's never been anything that has really changed my mind about an IPA, about what hop species it is. Did you have a question?
I'm confused with what hop is.
A hop is,
It's like a little,
it's like a beer grape.
okay.
So
It's not
Beer?
that way, a little,
beer is made with water, hops, and barley.
okay.
Hops and barley create flavor, water is water. When you have a more malty-flavored beer, that's when the barley is the most prominent flavor. When you have a hoppier beer, that's when you have that's the bitter, fruity, but every hop species has a different flavor. You'll get some IPAs that taste like pineapple. Very little pineapple in there. If they put any pineapple in it, it's that hop species that they use.
Good question. I'll tell you, when you drink a hoppy beer, it tastes like you're smoking weed. It tastes the exact same. It's a very weedy.
So there is a hop species that's Kush that is very dank. That's what they.
So is that why Heineken always smells like weed?
Heineken smells like weed
Yeah.
because Heineken is intentionally skunky.
Okay.
It's an intentionally what?
Skunky beer.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that answers my question.
When we're talking about, you say water is water process of it, how does that differentiate when you're talking about the artisan, where they're taking that water and it's going to be like stopping flavors?
Well, yeah. So water's not going to add flavor. It's just going to change consistency. It's going to change balance. It's going to taste like, you know, what a fresh, great, wonderful glass of water is. If that is an ingredient in your beer will shine by having that as a prominent ingredient. Artesia does not distribute. You have to go there, drink it on site in their farm. It's awesome. I highly, highly, highly recommend going there and experiencing it. It's awesome.
Where's this at?
It's up by Kankakee. It's like an hour and a half away. It's
Wait, where? What is
Like
it?
a glacier.
What is it called?
Artesia. I'll get a map and I'll get all.
I live in, I'm from Kankakee.
It's new. It's like Thawville or something is the town.
Is it
It's-
by like Hersher, towards like Hersher?
It's like out in the middle.
Okay, that's probably towards
Um,
Yeah.
It's awesome. They're only open on weekends. They're very limited, but it's but you can tell just by brewer caring